You know, I'm still really not used to saying, "Oh, it's playoff time again." But indeed, it is playoff time again. Hello, everybody. We are back. A 50-win season. A season is in the books, and now we look forward to the playoffs. The last episode most likely highlighted by a controversial trade, getting rid of Martin Necas a little bit earlier than perhaps we should have, and moving on from Filip Hronek, which I think was the right choice. He wasn't really rebounding all that well. I don't disagree. We could have held on to Necas, but for my money, seemed like the right move at the time. Hronek's value wasn't going to go up. Necas' value might have gone up, but again, we get a medium elite player. Yes, said medium elite player's value could drop as well once his age goes up, but I think the value, all things considered, will be in our favor. We won't have to worry about potential cap implications when we look to trade that player at the draft, because as we saw in the last episode as well, this is a very interesting draft, potentially at least. Unfortunately, Hodgson and Nikitin are both confirmed as medium top sixes, so we won't be going for those guys. Fikal looks to be along the lines of the players that we've already picked up as well. We still don't know about Tristan Myers. You know, maybe this draft is it's going to be falling off a little bit in terms of what we were hoping for, which is a shame. Or maybe someone like Ronald Lieb does end up being a medium elite, and we make it through this, all things considered. Actually, I am going to have to be a little bit more hands-on with the scouting here. Unfortunately, it's one of those things that you kind of hope with as many scouts as we have that I wouldn't have to worry about it as much. I'm guessing, indeed, Myers is already being scouted. Cornette's already being scouted. Geispers. Let's try to lock in a potential for Geispers. Ferguson's already being scouted. Let's also try to lock in that potential for Lieb and Dubinsky as well. So, again, we'll see how this all plays out in terms of this draft. Last year, we certainly went for it, and it didn't pay off as good as we were hoping it was going to. Not that we ended up with a horrible draft last year, but unfortunately, again, we do have a gem in Shirokov who could be a nice second-round pick, the Estonian. There's also a Slovenian, Slovenia #1. Unfortunately, that medium top 9 really hurts. Tokarski's already being scouted. Let's get a better look at Malkin here as well. And yeah, all we can really do is hope that we end up with a half-decent draft still. That's all I can really say. So take a look at Kalinin as well. I still think there's a decent potential for the draft being half-decent. There's decent potential as well that there could be somebody else on the trade block come the draft. And again, it's that question of, would you rather have to trade Hronek and Necas at the time and their cap implications, or would you rather trade a dude on the ZLC who has a higher trade value? You know, that's the question. So we'll see. I have not been afraid, as there's someone out of China, Dwight Fain. I have not been afraid. We actually don't have any ROW scouts. I might have to change that really quickly. Let's see if there's indeed an ROW scout we can sign really quickly. I haven't been afraid to take risks. You know, why not? It's our final series, obviously, of this game. Why not take some risks? We'll just look to sign. Actually, is there an ROW scout outright? I know I can sort. Actually, you can't score. You can't scort. I don't know what scorting is, but hey. We'll sign Wolf. Nina Wolf. We'll see if she agrees, and then we'll try to scout out that dude. That said, in terms of the lines, you know, I made the risk. We're going to take the chance. We're going to go with the young guys, including Guillermo McInnes on the second line with Hedel and Semyonov. The defense is fine as it is. Lukas Dostal will be the starting goaltender. I think we at least have to give him the chance. You know, we got to give him the opportunity to make something of himself and prove that he might also have some playoff magic in him and that it's not just Parik. So we'll see what happens there. I do want to go best lines and, of course, send down the two vets that we had. course, we're going to get Zucker, who is our best trade piece right now in this lineup, as well as Bebko. And the best boost for Bebko is a +1. And the best boost for Zucker is a +3 with Fehervari. So that's perfect. And then the forwards for this playoff run again, Sharon Govich will be out for Dimitra. Kuhnhackl is fine. So let's get Dimitra up there. Let's get Svitov up there. And we'll get Riley up there as well. And we'll see what that team will do. Of course, consistently, we've had a really good AHL team throughout the series. Now, we have a ton of familiarity as well with the Florida Panthers because we just haven't been able to escape them. This is what they look like. Huberdeau, Barkov, and Anthony Mantha. A second line of Jordan Eberle, Anton Lundell, and Grigory Denisenko. Nick Ritchie, Alexei Heponiemi, and Andrew Shaw. And a fourth line of Owen Tippett, Alex Wenberg, and Eric Stahl. It's good, obviously. It's pretty good. That goes without saying. Defensively, Clefbaum and Ekblad, pretty good. Dermott and Fleury, Olsen, that's Anton Olsen, and Raimo Pessinen. It's not bad. And then the goaltender is still Spencer Knight. Healthy scratches, Emil Bemstrom, Sarah Noel, Adam Gaudette. So, it's a tough spot to be in. We know we're a good team. It just really comes down to, basically, will RNGesus be on our side? 96, 91, 82. So we do have a slight advantage in every regard except for goaltending. Interesting. But will that... And that's with getting rid of Natchez and Ronick. That's very surprising. Will it lead to success? Let's find out. First period of game number 1 here against Florida. First period, 2-0 Cats. 2 goals for Sasha Barkov. Second period, oh boy. Heponiemi on the power play, Nick Ritchie as well. We do get goals from Stützle and the first ever career playoff goal of Hilbert. But we're down by 2 despite outshooting them 27-16 through 40 minutes of play. So it's a bit worrying. Oh, it's a bit worrying right now if we're being honest. As we get a goal apiece, of course, Hedl scored early. I was trying to ignore it for the most part, see if we could get the tying goal, and that didn't happen. Lundell made it 5-3, and that is your final score in Game 1. Not a tremendous start to this series when it comes to goaltending, unfortunately. So we might have to make a change heading into this next game. We are going to make a change, of course, as well when it comes to Mrs. Wolf, who will be going to the ROW category. Of course, there is one player and one player only, so it really shouldn't be all that difficult to know who to look at. And it is Fane. Let's get that potential. And again, I wish I could say after that. I mean, really, she should. It should be very easy for her to find all of the proper information. With that settled, we look ahead to this next game. Parikh's going to get the chance. Why not, right? I mean, they're, fellow countrymen here. Let's see if there's a little friendly rivalry. It's game 2. Lukasz Parikh is back. First period, and a 1-0 lead. Filip Hedl scores again. Great start to this series for him. Second period, we get another goal. It's Dean Kukin, of all people. Dean Kukin. And we're up 2-0. Very good. Very, very good for someone who only got the chance over Radko Gudas because he was a slightly better scheme fit. So that is tremendous news. And Lundell scores. I was about to say that playoff Parikh could be in full swing. A minute to go, and indeed that is the case. 29 of 30 stopped. Guess who the first star is? It's playoff Parikh. He's unbelievable. I don't know what it is. Dean Kukin gets a winning goal here in the playoffs, and we tie this series at 1 apiece. So talk about the friendly rivalry. Again, regular season numbers, not quite, you know, I mean, not quite what we're looking for. Let's just say regular season Carey Price would still be better than this, maybe not by much. But they're both playoff performers, damn it, except for that one game where he allowed like 9 goals that really dragged down that save percentage. I still can't believe that final game of last year. But Lukáš will get the start over Lukáš. And we will go to game number 3. If we lose here, we might be in need of some line shuffling. We'll see. First period, 2-1. Barkov scores the opening goal. It's Semyonov on the power play and Nico Hischier to make it 2-1. Barkov scoring from center ice because, of course. Second period, now 3-1. Semyonov, his second power play goal of the game, as Jordan Eberle gets one back at the start of the third. Worry. Come on now. Come on. Hold the door. 7.5 minutes to go. An insurance goal would be great. Are we going to need it? And yes, we are. Barkov ties the game. We go to overtime in game number 3. This is a very important moment for this team. And with 12 minutes to go, it's not looking too good. Not at all. God, is it going to be double overtime? We are absolutely crushing them in terms of shots, and it doesn't matter. You know how this works. Don't blink, you'll miss it. It's going to end quickly, as it always does. Power play, 5-on-3. It has to be us, and it is. David Pastrnak. Beautiful. Another power play goal, and that will do it. A great game for Barkov, a better game for Semyonov and Nico Hischier, though. And we get a crucial victory in game number 3. We bounce back from that rough defeat in game number 1. And all of a sudden now we're looking good. And it's very obvious that Park is still our guy between the pipes. Defensively, that top pairing has been a little bit rough so far, but there's really no change worth making there to lose out on that chemistry. I will say McInnes has been a little bit disappointing. That third line has also been very, very quiet. I think Chytil Semyonov can stay as a pairing. That's a smart move. But from there, I mean, man, do we want to lose that +3? We can lose the +3 on the second line, but gain it on the top line. And then from there, maybe bump up Jake Voracek. See if he has anything left in the tank at this point. We'll run Glebov at center, McInnes and Tatar on the wings. And then I was going to say, yeah, I'd imagine that Hilbert would be the center. And indeed he would be. So going with like a general theme of line chem, I know we just won, but it's very clear, based off of how the series has gone so far, with the lines the way that they were, if we don't have our top players show up, we're going to get just trucked. Absolutely trucked. So, we'll see. First period of game 4, and there we go. And yes, immediate reward as Jake Voracek scores. Pastrnak with 2. Barkov gets another one because he's been unreal, but we're up 3-1. Second period, now 5-1. Moritz Seider gets a goal, as does Mr. Semyonov. 5-1 over the Cats. And things are looking pretty good. We'll quick sim the rest of the third. Okay. Whoo, Eberle, Richie Lundell, thank God. Well, we hold on to win game 4. It wasn't pretty, but job done. And we have a 3-1 series lead now here on the Panthers, looking to go to the second round, I believe, for the 3rd year in a row. Park with a 9-16, but he has 3 wins in 3 attempts. The top line carrying, again, Jake Voracek. Had a pretty good first game. We'll see what happens with the rest of the bottom 6. Maybe some of the veterans, you know, come up from the AHL to replace some of the young guys. We'll see. But it is game number 5. Here we go. First period. Tatar, Sider. Hold on. We're going over here. I obviously don't have my webcam up right now. You can deal with the empty box. We're doing it. When you have that clip on standby, baby, you use it. Moritz Sider scores Semyonov, and then Hilbert gets his second one as well. Beautiful, beautiful stuff. Second period, now 5-2. Semyonov scores again. It's Heponiemi and Huberdeau. We go to the third up by 3. I learned my lesson from last time. Let's see. Let's see what we can do here. 3 left. 3, no, maybe not 3 left, but a 3 goal. There it is. Jake Voracek again. That's it. 6-2 your final score. And despite changes to the team heading into this series, despite changes to the team directly before the beginning of this series, we get it done. We eliminate Florida in 5 games as playoff party shows up again. He only had a .914. It's now a career .919 save percentage in the playoffs, where he has an .892 in the regular season. Figure that one out after a very rough start for Lukas Dostal. Defensively, Bondra, point per game. Beautiful. Dodonov, no points, but a +2. And again, that's what we do with Dodonov. I mean, that's what we expect. He is a defense-first player, and he works so well over on the other side. Ledbedev with a point and a +2. Moritz Sider with 2 goals. And that third pairing was inoffensive. Very, very good from our defense. Pasternak, 4 points in 5 games. 5 and 5 for Nikos. 6 and 5 for Stützle. Voracek ended up being a point per game option. Let's go. As was Hedel. And then Semyonov was a goal per game option. He finished with 7 points. McInnes, 3 points in 5 games. Not that bad. Nothing from Victor Glebov. Inoffensive is the reason why we get a +3 on that third line. Tatar with 3 points. And then Zook with 3 points. 2 for Hilbert and 1 for Palat. Probably don't mess with it since it's working. But we know David Kampf, Marco Dano, Michael Raffel, Tom Kuhnhackl, those guys are there. But, I mean, especially, too, for someone like Andre Palat, right? I mean, you drop Palat for a sniper. I wouldn't necessarily say Svitov. I mean, it's probably better that he develops in the AHL for the rest of the year. But even like Martin Ferk, calling up Martin Ferk over Andre Palat could be the right decision, because I imagine that would result in either a higher rated +1 or a +3 potentially. Bottom line is, the team's looking good, man, and that is exactly what we needed to see. Now, really quickly before we end this episode, we still don't really have an idea of how good Dwight Fane is, unfortunately. So if you were hoping for a magically good player there, I wouldn't hold your breath. In terms of anybody available, Geispers has a shot at being a medium elite, and we need to hope that's the case. We really need to hope that Geispers ends up being a medium elite. That would be incredible for us, especially because he's projected in the mid-teens. There's also Yuri Kaminsky, who's currently being scouted. We need to find out more about Lukas Tokarski, so I do think we'll be a little bit more hands-on with the scouting here. There is a low elite in Terrence Finley, who looks like he could be a pretty good 7th-round steal. Not bad. Again, Colby Wesley we're taking a look at. Valentenko, Denisov. There's a chance this could be a pretty damn good draft. The disappointment is in Hodgson. It's in the Keaton. Hodgson, obviously, though, he's going to be similar to the guy that we drafted this year in Hilbert. He'll be about a 77 medium top 6. You could argue he's still worth it. It depends on how the rest of the draft plays out. Unfortunately, Lieb is also a medium top 6. But Fikal, the Feichel, is another one. He and Hodgson are going to have high ratings. The potential isn't incredible, but they're going to have high ratings. Shirokov and Lieb will also still be decent. So I don't hate where we are right now. Not at all. I think we have a great chance at the draft coming up, even if, again, we miss out on the medium elite. The team's looking good. I'm feeling pretty good. I'm feeling pretty good about how things are looking right now.